Okay, so once the instance has gone active, which we can tell from the status here, we then need to modify the key that we downloaded earlier on from IBM to actually be able to access the instance through Putty. So we start by minimizing the Smart Cloud window, and then we open up a program called PuttyGen. PuttyGen is freely downloadable from the Putty website. It's basically designed to use open and also RSA based keys and convert them into .ppk keys, which is the format that can be read by the Putty SSH client. So we start by just hitting File, Load Key. We then need to go and find the key. Now it's worth bearing in mind, obviously, this is not a PPK key yet, so we need to actually look for all files, scroll down, and find Test Linux. Now, I've actually renamed this for the purposes of this demonstration from IBM Smart Cloud underscore username dot uk.rsa to Test Linux, just so that it sort of matches up with the name that we gave the instance, so we can get some consistency. Hit open. Okay, so we successfully imported the OpenSSH key into Putty. Hit OK. Alright, so you don't need to worry too much about any of this. One thing you do need to do is give the key a passphrase. Now, what that passphrase will do is it adds an extra layer of authentication, so that when you log in, you not only authenticate with the key, but you also authenticate with a typed password as well. So I'm just going to give this a quick password. So bear with me for 2 seconds. Okay, and then from here it's a simple case of saving a private key, give it a name, so we'll call it Test Linux, and save. Okay, and now we can exit off of PuttyGen, and we may just have noticed that up in the top left hand corner of the screen, Test Linux just popped up. So now we need to quickly dash back to the Smart Cloud control panel. You could have done this earlier on, but it makes little or no difference. And we need to copy either the host name, which is a public DNS, or the IP address. For simplicity, we'll just take the IP address, Control copy, minimize that, open up Putty, and from here we can copy and paste the IP address into the hostname or IP address part of the Putty terminal, and then we need to basically add in the SSH key. So we need to go to Connection, SSH, Authentication, and then browse straight to the desktop for Test Linux. Open. Okay, so at this point we're ready to go, but there's one more thing that makes it slightly easier. When we're actually logging in, we still need to use a username, even though we're using all these keys, so we can actually just get that ready by typing it in here. The username is IDC user. This is standard across all of IBM's Linux instances. They all use the same username, whether they are blank images or whether they are custom built DB2, WebSphere, Cognos images. So I think we're ready to go. Last thing we're going to do is just save it. Obviously we've had to go through a few steps to get to where we are now, so we're just going to save that as Test Linux, save, and open. And then what you'll notice is the first thing we have is, because we haven't connected to this machine before, we notice that the system basically says, are you sure this is the server? Because it's not in the known hosts server file. So we say, yep, that's the server we want to connect to. So we've, using IDC user, we've authenticated with our private key. It's now a case of just adding in our password or passphrase, and we're in. And this is our Linux. We start in our home directory, and from here we can use passwordless sudo to do 90% of our commands. Should you need to run into root, you can just su to root, and basically play around and sort of get on with doing whatever you intended to do on the Smart Cloud. So that is provisioning an instance of Linux on the IBM Smart Cloud. Next video we're going to do is around provisioning a Windows server on the IBM Smart Cloud, so tune back in to see that one next. Thanks, bye.